tips with tie rigging. Now look, this is one of the most important parts, braid to leader. Okay, everybody's got different ways of doing this. I have a specific way of doing it for my style of fishing, and Teresa does it the same way, just because of the way we fish. And I'm always about simple. Simple is always better for me. There's a lot of ways to connect braid to leader. A lot of guys use the FG knot. A lot of guys, even more guys, use uni to uni knot. If you want to learn how to do those knots, there's tons of videos on YouTube. I don't use those knots anymore. I use a Spanish fly knot and a blood knot and some other ones that connect them. I don't use any of those knots anymore because, to me, they're complicated. I can do them here when I have time. When I'm in the field, I don't have time. And when there's wind blowing and Lord knows what, I can't do them as well. So another issue is now we've all gone to these micro guides. And this one is kind of, mid-sized micro guides, but they're still small. And if you look up top, those last 4 or 5 guides are just real tiny. So no matter how good the knot is, even an FG knot, when you throw it through those, it goes tick, 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 tick. And I don't like that. Now, that's a personal thing. I don't like the way that feels. Tick, 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 even with a minimal knot like the FG. So my answer to that is don't cast a knot through the line. And if I'm not going to don't cast a knot through the guides. And if I'm not going to cast a knot through the guides, I don't need a minimal knot. I need an easy, quick knot. And here's my answer. The good old surgeon's loop. Use it in fly fishing a ton. Now, as far as your braid, as far as your leader material, I'm going to do meat and potatoes. This is what Teresa and I use 90% of the time. 20-pound mono. If I want the knot to be a little smaller, I'll drop it down to 14. If I want less visibility, I'll drop it to 14 mono. That's all I do. That's every day for me. That is 90%. It's only in a very small percentage of situations when I'm in water that's so gin clear that I got to go to fluoro. This will knock it out 90% of the time. If I could only carry one thing, it'd be this. So what I do is I go ahead and cut off 3 feet just to give myself enough to work with. So I got 3 feet of 20-pound mono. I come over here and grab my main line, my braid. So now we use a surgeon's loop a lot in fly fishing. That's where I learned it. But look how easy this is, folks. You just take your main line, my braid in this case, and my 20-pound mono, which is my leader, put them together, make a loop, right? And you go through the loop 4 times. 3, 4, and you tighten it down. That's it. Those monster jacks and monster bull reds you see me catch on the flats have all been caught with that knot right there. Now it's an ugly knot. It sticks out the side. It's not going to go through guides very well. But you saw how quickly I did that. So let's go over here to my line cutters thing. And you just trim it as close as you can. And I actually like to leave a little tag in on there so I can kind of see where my knot is, because I'm only casting my leader. I'm not bringing it through. So let's do it again. All right, it's off. So once again, I take my braid and I take my leader, make a loop with both of them, put them together like they're one, and make a loop with your fingers. And then you're going to take them both and go through that loop 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3's not enough. 5 is overkill. And just tighten them down. Grab your end, grab your leader, and grab your main line. Tighten it down again. That's it. Cut your tag end off. Grab both your tag ends together. Come over to your line cutter's ring, on a string, or your tabletop. In my case, leave a little bit of a tag so you can see where your leader stops. That's the way I like it right there. So I can see a little bit of a tag in. And then bam! There you go. I like to leave a little bit of a flag, a little tag in on there so I can see where my leader stops so I don't reel it into my guides. And I'm going to come down, about 2.5 feet and tie on my angler clip. Or if I'm tying bait straight to my leader, I'll leave 2 3/4 to 3 foot of line, and I'll start tying baits and start chewing that up. But it's so easy to tie a fresh leader on there. You can tie as many as you want. You keep that in the boat in the side pocket. Bam. That's it. All day long, baby. Now, if I want this to be a little bit more minimal, if there's grass and I'm picking up grass with that knot, I'll drop down to 14. But it's simple. You can do it in the wind. You can do it in the rain. You can do it. I can tie that knot with my eyes closed. Literally, I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's awesome. I love it. It's what I use, people. Thanks.